All right, so we got some feelings around the table about that subject, and let me point out a couple facts here I have on paper. Some people might not realize, but there are several states and cities out there who have much more restrictive gun laws than others. Um, so we have this list of facts here, and they're absolute proven facts. You can check them out. I'll pick one here right off the paper and read to you. But if you realize that the states and the cities that have extreme gun laws, they don't allow people to have guns. They have these gun buyback programs. They have the knock-and check, which is where they knock on your door and they say, we'd like to come in and inspect the safety of your firearms, and if it's not up to par, they'll take them away. Oddly enough, in all those cities where they have these extreme gun laws, they have a lot more gun crime. They have a lot more home invasions. They have a lot more murders. The whole 9 yards. So let's take a pic from this paper right here. This is about Kennesaw, Georgia, a city in Georgia. And this says in 1982, this suburb of Atlanta passed a law requiring heads of households to keep at least one firearm in their house. So the residential burglary rate dropped 89% in Kennesaw, compared to the modest 10.4 drop in Georgia as a whole because of their other gun laws. 89%. Because all of a sudden criminals knew, and their problem there was home invasions at the time, all of a sudden criminals knew that every head of the household had a gun. They were a lot more careful to go in. So there's a case right there with the Second Amendment, which most people fear, and guns, which people really have the impression are bad nowadays, probably saved a hell of a lot of people. And that's not done with the facts here, but it proves true over and over and over again. More guns, more gun freedom, less crime. The safer you are. You have to practice safe, gun responsibility, but these are common sense things. How about a question for you guys? What do you guys think about people who have mental disabilities or proven to be a little off their rocker? People with restraining orders also being allowed to have guns. So should people with a mental disability or unstable have the same right as us to have guns? Charles, you're probably a good guy to comment on that.
I absolutely don't believe in that. I have basic morals, and I believe that you have to have a certain priority responsibility. The problem is who decides that? There's a lot of unstable people in our society nowadays. I wouldn't trust them with them. But I want to say this: those people that think if we got rid of the guns, we'd be doing ourselves a favor because there wouldn't be any more murders. Well, you ever hear of a hammer, crowbar, tire iron?
Butter knife.
Anything. Anything can use to kill somebody else. A pencil can kill somebody. Smarten up. If they don't have guns, they're going to use something else to kill everybody. It's ridiculous to even believe that.
You're saying who doesn't have guns? If the government completely outlaw guns, that would leave all the law-abiding citizens completely unarmed. But criminals do what criminals do. Criminals are always going to have guns, and they're going to get them through criminal means. They always have, they always will. They will have guns, and you'll have nothing to protect yourself against them.
I think there's a lot of whacked out people, once again, and when men and women fight together sometimes, they carry some speech. I just heard of a woman that ran her husband over with a car. That's like using it. She had a gun, run him over, but that was her answer. So it'll denigrate whatever situation has it in order to get rid of the problem for the other person, even though they're going to cause themselves a bigger problem. And this is in a free society, you have to learn to live with this kind of sort of stuff. That's the big problem. You want to say something more?
Stay away from these people to say that there's a wide variety. Actually, I can hear you say. One of the restrictions for gun possession today is if you committed a felony, okay? Now, felony in most people's mind would be like armed robbery or something really bad. The way felony works today, it's not like that at all. I mean, you could have an expired registration on your car, and you drive it on, it could be a felony. The laws have changed tremendously. Say that I had my vehicle that was not registered, right? And I had it in my yard, and I wanted to take it out for, because I'm showing someone I'm going to sell it. And I take my plate off my other car, and I put it on my other car, and I drive that around. If I get stopped, I could be committed a felony. Now, is that something that would restrict me from being able to purchase a firearm? That's ridiculous. Now, as far as mental disability, who decides who's competent and who's not competent? I think that's a very grave area.
I think any one of these new psychotropic drugs to keep them safe from depression or whatnot. Those people should have guns. I'm not, against some form of control. I don't want every maniac in the neighborhood to have a gun either, or everyone with a criminal record. But this is restriction against law-abiding citizens. What we're talking about. And as a matter of fact, I'll take another thing off this list to read. For a lot of people who think that the number of guns in the country that contribute to the crime rate. Here's a fact. Double check it. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Guns used 2.5 million times a year in self-defense. Law-abiding citizens use guns to defend themselves against criminals as many as 2.5 million times every year, or about 6,850 times a day. This means that each year, firearms are used more than 60 times more often to protect the lives of honest citizens than they are to take lives. So rethink the things you believe about guns, about the Second Amendment.
I got a question.
I had a question. Where the crossbows and bow and arrows fit in there?
Crossbows and bow and arrows.
Yeah.
They're not concerned with that stuff. You can't reload fast enough.
Is that what it
Who
is?
wants that stuff anyway?
Crossbow,
No, if they actually start enacting these gun laws, they got to pass legislation for any weapon that's a projectile-driven weapon. You're not going to be allowed to have that. You're not going to be allowed to do harm at a distance. You'd be protecting yourself too much. Yeah, a bow and arrow.
You used to fight with it back in the day,
You know, you should go into a bludgeoning laws and put that in. You'd be astonished what's considered a deadly weapon. You know, what you could be charged with here in the state of Rhode Island. That pen right there is a bludgeon by their standards. So,
It's damage.
oh, it's insane. You know, I'm sure this book here would be considered a bludgeon under the statute. You know, this just happened in the last 15 years, this kind of legislation. Because nobody goes down to the State House and testifies against it. All right, well, we're going to be saying aloha over here. I'll let Adam walk you all out. Don't tip over. Bang!
So there you have it. Quick conversation about the Second Amendment. Definitely rethink everything you thought. If you want to see more about this stuff, other people's comments on it, you can check them out at WeThePeopleOfRI.org. And like I say, every Monday night we're here at Nostalgia, 557 Warwick Avenue, doing it again. So WeThePeopleOfRI.org, and join the Yahoo group, go to the site, and look at some of their blogs. They have a lot of interesting comments there. You can contribute to this stuff and read some of the stuff other people have written. A lot of these controversial subjects that people don't quite understand. So they're doing this here in Rhode Island for your education and mine. So once again, this has been Rage of Freedom. We're around the table.
Bobby, Paul.
George from Hell, a.k.a. Charles Pacino.
George from Hell. Charles Pacerno. I'm Adam. Remember, check out your facts. There's all sorts of stuff out there. Movies, free online. Our lives hang in the balance here, ladies and gentlemen. Your freedom depends on this. The Second Amendment is a big one. That's why we chose it for tonight. Anybody got any closing statements they want to say before we wrap this up?
I'm good. Fine. Be safe.
Yeah.
Everyone's relaxing.
North American Union, Matt?
Now we're going to hear from my sponsor.
We'll go to the North American
We'll
Union.
close it
North
up and
American
touch the
Union.
North American Union.
People are going to bring in the North American Union.
2 minutes.
Let's go to the map. Charles, you know about the map.
I know the map.
You know that.
Pull the map up, all right, so that we can see what's going on over here. All right,
That's better.
all right, this is our future, right here, the 10 regions of the world. The world is going to get divided up into in the future here. And basically, ours is the purple area. It's going to be the North American Union. And this is not a good thing, because you don't want that to happen to us.
When the North American Union comes through, what happens to our gun rights? What happens to our Constitution?
90 seconds.
We don't have any constitution. We go by actually, there is another constitution already in place. The UN, the Human Bill of Rights. You can look it up in any new law dictionary whatsoever. Blacks, Bouviers, whatever. You'll see it at the end of the thing about the Human Bill of Rights, and you'll find out that you don't have any real
Is
rights.
that almost like the Georgia Stones?
The Georgia Guidestones, no, that's where they tell you about how you're going to get eliminated, and they're going to reduce the population down to next to nothing.
All right, so basically what we're looking at here is unionized places in the world already. And we're next. They've already enacted this. this is what we're looking at for the near future. This is one of the things that people have to educate themselves about. This is the North American Union. We're going to be one of these chunks of land like the others, and sooner or later they're all going to join together, and all these lands laws are going to meld together. It's going to be global government. Global government means global control. So these are some of the things that spark our interest. The reason why we were talking about the Second Amendment tonight. You guys got something else to point out about
Well,
this?
basically, all the treaties were all in place for this North American Union to happen by 2012. So it's already a done deal. That's how insane it all is. Did you vote for this to happen to us? No. And that's where it's wrong.
Say goodbye.
Good night.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We the people of RI.org. This has been Rage of Freedom in Rhode Island. Thanks very much.